Effortless results, part 3. Steve Nash still holds the record for career free throws. Steve Nash still holds the record for career free throw percentage in the NBA. When he retired, his record was 90.43. The average for elite players is between 70 and 75%. How did he do it? One reporter who interviewed Nash several years following his retirement described it this way: watching him shoot is akin to watching a stunningly elaborate automaton at work, his body moving with an exactness more reminiscent of clockwork than a fallible human being. At one point in our afternoon together, he homes in so precisely on his target that he stops having to move to retrieve the ball. Instead, time after time, it descends through the rim in such a way that the whip of the net sends it bouncing back to him as if by magnetic force. This is what it means to achieve effortless results. Not to achieve a result once through intense effort, but to effortlessly achieve a result again and again. What do I mean? Whenever your inputs create a one-time output, you are getting a linear result. Every day you start from zero. If you don't put in the effort today, then you don't get the result today. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. The amount of effort you put in equals the results received. Linear results exist in every area of endeavor. For example, an employee who works an hour gets paid for that hour, has a linear income. A student who crams for a test, regurgitates facts, and gets a grade is acquiring linear knowledge. A person who decides to exercise for an hour today, but tomorrow has to decide again whether to exercise, has made a linear decision. An entrepreneur who makes money only when she is actively working to make it happen has a linear business model. A volunteer who serves once and makes an impact once has a linear contribution. A person who exerts great effort to make herself do something today takes linear action. A father who has to remind his child to do the same chore every day is practicing linear parenting. Linear results are limited. They can never exceed the amount of effort exerted. What many people don't realize, however, is that there exists a far better alternative. Residual results are completely different. With residual results, you exert effort once and reap the benefits again and again. Results continue to flow to you, whether you put in additional effort or not. Results flow to you while you are sleeping. Results flow to you when you are taking the day off. Residual results can be virtually infinite. For example, an author who writes a book and has paid royalties for years is getting residual income. A student who learns first principles and can then apply that understanding in a variety of ways over time is acquiring residual knowledge. A person who makes the one-time decision to exercise every day has made a residual decision. An entrepreneur who sets up her business to work even when she is on vacation for 6 months has a residual business. A social entrepreneur who provides microloans that are repaid so they can be loaned out again and again is making a residual contribution. A person who does something every day habitually without thinking, without effort, is benefiting from residual action. A mother who delegates a whole chore to her child and makes it fun so it happens every day without prodding is practicing residual parenting. Does it sound like I'm exaggerating? I'm not. The thought of getting perpetual results might seem improbable if you are used to taking one action and getting one result. But there are tools we can use to turn our modest effort into effortless results again and again. Residual results are like compound interest. Benjamin Franklin summarized the idea of compounding interest best when he said, "Money makes money, and the money that money makes money." Put it another way, when we are generating compound interest, we are creating effortless wealth. This principle can be applied to many other pursuits as well. The case for compounding results. For example, a friend of mine, Jessica Jackley, was once doing a voluntary service in East Africa when she met a local fishmonger named Catherine. There was a great demand for fish in Catherine's village. Each day she purchased about a half dozen fish at a time from a middleman and then resold them at a roadside stand. But with 7 children to feed, she wished she could buy directly from the fishermen and keep more profit. To do so, she would have to travel over 100 kilometers, but she couldn't afford the bus fare or the time lost at the market. To make it happen, she needed about $500 in funding. Villagers like Catherine, combined with a recent talk from Muhammad Yunus about the Grameen Bank, were what inspired Jessica to co-found a platform called Kiva. Kiva is a crowdsourcing platform that allows anyone to loan money in any amount to entrepreneurs in developing countries. But the returns don't stop there. When the loan is paid back, and over 98% of them are, it's repaid in the form of a Kiva credit, allowing you to reloan that capital to another entrepreneur. This cycle can continue indefinitely. Your one-time investment becomes a perpetual fund that supports more and more entrepreneurs for years or even decades to come. Instead of simply giving Catherine a one-time gift of $500, Jessica built a platform that has distributed over $1.3 billion in loans. That's the difference between linear and residual results. Powerless effort versus effortless power. A lever is a simple machine that makes work easier. It's made up of a rigid beam that rests on top of a fulcrum. The longer the distance between the fulcrum and the spot of the beam where force is exerted, the less force is required to move a heavy object or lift a heavy load. The lever, in other words, multiplies the impact of the effort we put in. Whenever you have played on a seesaw, used a ball opener or a crowbar, or rowed a boat, you are using a lever. Archimedes, the Greek mathematician and mechanical engineer, is considered the first to have discovered the principle of leverage. He is thought to have said that if he had a long enough lever and the right place to stand, he could move the world. I am fascinated by how we can apply the principle of leverage in other areas. Here are a few of many examples. Learning. Personal capability compounds over time. You develop a reputation once, but then opportunities flow to you for years. You understand first principles deeply and then can easily apply them again and again. You establish a habit once, but then it serves you for a lifetime. Teaching. Sharing knowledge is powerful. Teach others to teach and you get exponential impact. You craft the right story once and it can live on for millennia. The more we teach, the more we ourselves learn. Automating. Automate something once and then forget about it as it continues to work perpetually. Write up a cheat sheet once and use it every day afterward. Write lines of code or hire someone to write them, and then they will perform the same actions thousands of times. You can write a book once, but then millions can read it even hundreds of years later. Trusting. If you hire the right person once, they'll produce results hundreds of times. When you reduce friction on or across teams up front, collaboration flows smoothly on project after project. When you build a unified team where everybody knows who's doing what, it becomes easier to stay aligned on roles, responsibilities, regulations, reward, and desired results. Preventing. Solving a problem before it happens can save you endless time and aggravation later on. Strike a problem at its roots and you can prevent it from resurfacing again and again. Preventing a crisis now is always easier than managing it in the future. Of course, there can be drawbacks to levers too. Depending on which lever you push, an equally modest amount of effort can also produce amazingly bad residual results. A bad reputation can cost you opportunities for years. A bad habit can compromise your health for decades. Hire the wrong person and they can negatively affect your business in 100 ways. Write bad code and users will be frustrated again and again. The direction the force will flow is entirely up to us. There are 2 ways to approach getting things done. The hard way is with powerless effort, and the easy way is with effortless power. Levers give us effortless power. The next few chapters will show how to use this powerful tool to produce the right results.